a few tips and techniques for reducing anxiety, stress and overwhelm. So if you want to bring down your overall level of stress and anxiety, then I would recommend daily practice of any of the breathwork exercises in the previous videos, because these have an accumulative effect. So practicing for 10-20 minutes every day will bring down your level of stress and anxiety from somewhere up here to a more normal level. But that would need to be practiced daily, as it has an accumulative effect. It's like taking a daily medicine. If you want to reduce feeling of overwhelm, panic, stress and anxiety in the moment, there are a couple of things you can do to switch that parasympathetic on pretty quickly. So to shift from a sympathetic response of fight or flight, freeze or flop, to a state of rest and digest, to a state of feeling relaxed and safe. So a couple of those techniques here. One very simple technique is bilateral movement. So I tend to use a ball for this. This is a nice squidgy stress ball. It even has a nice scent to it and a lovely colour. So it's really engaging all the senses. So bilateral movement is hand to hand, side to side. So if you are feeling a bit fidgety, nervous, overthinking, start engaging in some bilateral movement like this, with a ball that feels really comforting and soothing in your hand. Other ways of engaging in some bilateral movement would be with something we call butterfly tap. So that is just crossing your hands over here, linking thumbs to make a butterfly effect on your chest here. So fingertips facing up towards the collarbones. And that butterfly tap is very slow. Imagining the slow beat of butterfly wings. This is also very calming, very soothing to the nervous system. You could even from here close your eyes if you're comfortable to, and just bring to mind your safe, calm, happy place. So bringing to mind now perhaps a place in nature, a place where you feel completely at peace. Preferably somewhere away from other people, particularly family members. Somewhere perhaps you know as an adult that's just for you, just brings about positive feelings within you. Really focusing on all the sensory elements of this image. So what do you see while you're here? The colours, the shapes around you. What can you feel? How does it feel underfoot? What are you wearing? What's the temperature of the air on your skin? What can you hear in this place? What can you smell? And how does it feel to be here? Where do you feel that in your body? Focusing now on those positive feelings in your body. And perhaps finding a word that you associate with this image, with this place. Might be a feeling word. A word that will bring this place to mind for you. As soon as you close your eyes, think of this place, repeat that word, and engage in your butterfly taps. Excellent. Just taking a deep belly breath here. And relax your hands. So bilateral movement. A ball, or as I travel, I tend to always keep a satsuma in my bag. Satsuma prevents me from having a panic attack on a train, on a crowded train, because it engages all my senses. So I can get that satsuma out. I can play with it in my hands like this. I can then sit and slowly peel the satsuma, breathing in its beautiful fresh scent. Engaging in the colour, so being really drawn by its colour and all its detail, the weight of it in my hand, its strong scent, fresh scent, and then eating a segment at a time, really mindfully, really slowly. So engaging the jaw, chewing when you are about to have a panic attack. So when you're feeling highly activated and anxious, panicky, if you start chewing, this will engage the parasympathetic nervous system, because the brain thinks, oh, well, if I'm chewing, if I'm eating, I must be in rest and digest. So it kind of tricks it into switching to rest and digest, or thinking it's in rest and digest, as opposed to fight or flight, when you would not be in a position to eat. So slowly chewing will also prevent that anxiety from rising any further. And the butterfly taps, very soothing. If here isn't comfortable on the chest, then you can just do the sort of self-hold, the self-hug, just slowly tapping here. Bring into mind your safe, calm place. So in terms of breath work, the breath practice you want to engage in when you are feeling highly activated in a state of panic and anxiety is a very slow, full belly breath. So what happens when we get into a state of anxiety is that our breathing will become, our breathing is all from up here in the chest. Anything down here is just sort of shut off, it's too tense, tight. So we tend to breathe up here in the upper chest very quickly, very shallowly. So what we want to do is, and of course that's sending the message, the feedback to the brain, to the nervous system is, I must be in a state of panic, there's reason to panic, I'm getting ready for fight or flight here. So what we need to do is send the signal to the brain, to the nervous system, that actually we're in a safe place, we can relax, we can switch that fight or flight off, and we can start to think through the situation and the problem more clearly. And to do that, we want to engage the lower part of the lungs. We want to engage the belly in the breath. So as we've practiced in previous videos, your belly breathing, belly breath, natural breath, but also the breath that will switch on, will engage the parasympathetic nervous system. So just practicing that again now. So in through the nose, nice and slowly, maybe into a count of 4. And inflating the belly. So sending that breath, directing it down into the belly. Inflating the belly on the in-breath. Softening on the out-breath. Try nice even breaths here, so maybe in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. The more you can slow that breath down, the more you can engage the belly, the faster it will bring your anxiety down, it will switch the panic off. Another way of doing that, if that's not accessible to you, is actually just concentrate on the extended exhale, on a longer exhale. So it's actually the in-breath that engages the parasympathetic, It's actually the in-breath that engages the sympathetic, so that encourages focus, concentration, alertness, being switched on. It's actually the out-breath, the exhale, that engages the parasympathetic, tones the what we call the vagus nerve. So we want a really nice, long, slow, extended out breath, extended exhale. We call this, has a number of different names, but if you want to think about this as straw breathing, so you breathe in through the nose, maybe again to a count of 4, and imagine you're blowing out through a straw. Seeing if you can double the count of that out breath to maybe 8, but if that's not accessible, 6 or 7. Just a longer exhale, straw breathing in through the nose, out through slightly parted lips. Like you are blowing through a straw. For children, I tend to bring to mind the image of breathing in the smell of the flowers, blowing out candles. That's a nice easy one for them to remember, and having a bit of fun with it too. So 2 breathwork practices there for reducing panic and anxiety. Belly breath, slow, deep belly breathing, nice even breaths into a count of 4, out to a count of 4. Or extended exhales into a count of 4, blowing out through the straw to a count of 6, 7 or 8, just as long as that exhale, that out breath will allow you to go, and then just let the in-breath take care of itself. While we're doing this, we can also place a hand just lightly on the chest here, on the heart centre. Just this touch, this self-touch. Sometimes it's nice to have a hand up here too, on the forehead, or one on the belly, one on the chest. Just experiment with this, one on the belly, one on the forehead, wherever that feels most comforting and soothing to you. Just placing hands here, because this releases oxytocin, the feel-good hormone in the body. So when you're in a state of stress, anxiety, panic, and you are releasing a lot of adrenaline and cortisol, you can actually slow that down and start to release some oxytocin, sending again the message to the nervous system that you're safe, that you're calm. Just by simply placing a hand here, here. Some of us do this quite instinctually, naturally anyway. Sometimes it's here. But wherever that self-hold, that self-touch feels most soothing and comforting. And you can do this as you practice your belly breathing or extended exhales. Another way to engage that parasympathetic nervous system, or the vagus nerve as it's known, to tone the vagus nerve, is by creating some vibration in the body. And vibration we can create by breath again, so we can create vibration in the body by singing, humming, making sounds with our breath, making sounds through our voice, through our breath, with vu or ah, all those different sounds that we can make. So just practicing a couple of those for you now and seeing which one creates the most vibration for you in this area. And the lower down the better, because if we can vibrate in the belly here, much like engaging the belly breath, if we can create some vibration down here, we're really going to tone that vagus nerve. So try now, just breathing in through the nose and a hum on the out breath. Try it again by perhaps placing your hands over your ears to really intensify that hum. We call that humming bee breath. Or perhaps with a voo on the out breath. Just having some fun with that. Of course, bringing a smile to your face as well is sending the message to the brain, to the nervous system, that actually you're in an okay place. You're smiling, you're feeling safe, you're feeling at peace. So, self-holding, smiling, humming, creating vibration in the body with sound. This will all engage the parasympathetic nervous system, your vagus nerve. And just some nice, gentle, soothing strokes following the root of the vagus nerve like this. So taking your hand and sweeping over your opposite eyebrow, behind the ear, down the neck, across the shoulder, all the way down the arm to the fingertips, and the other side. Just some nice gentle sweeps following the vagus nerve. So any kind of sweeping, stroking, massaging of the ears. The vagus nerve runs very closely to the ears, so you can sort of separate the fingers here either side of the ears and just rub either side of the ears, giving them a good massage, pulling, gently pulling at the lobes, just massaging around the jaw where we tend to get very tense, unlocking the jaw, or gentle pitter-patters over the face, also very soothing. And on the crown of the head. So again, any of these sweeps, strokes, massages, gentle taps, mobilising the jaw. Remember what I said there about if the jaw is mobilised, if you're eating, then that tricks the brain into thinking, I must be in rest and digest. So chewing, as long as there's no chance of you choking. So chewing, if not, just gently mobilising the jaw. And you can even bring about a yawn, which again sends a message to the nervous system. I must be in rest to digest. If I am yawning, yawning tones the vagus nerve. So you can do that by gently wiggling the jaw side to side. And then taking a deep breath in through open mouth. Can actually bring about a yawn. Toning, activating the vagus nerve. Smells are really nice as well, and that sort of gentle touch. So if you have an organic skin-friendly aromatherapy oil, or you have a really pleasant smelling hand cream, some kind of cream or balm that you can just gently rub into your hands, so you get a nice soothing, pleasing scent. And then that's a good excuse to cup your hands over your nose and take a nice deep belly breath in here. Okay. So that's engaging a sense of smell, soothing smell and touch, belly breath, extended exhale. I hope you find these tips and techniques useful. Try them out, find what works for you. And I'll see you in the last couple of videos where we will practice a few more grounding techniques, some visualization for busy minds, overthinkers, and finally a few quick breathwork exercises for encouraging focus, energy and confidence. See you in the next videos.